Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I was thinking it's about time to do a comic book room tour and show you guys what my comic book space looks like, and realistically my hobby space and my workspace, because this room kind of serves multiple different purposes. It's just a spare bedroom in my house that I set up as my home office, and it slowly became a place where I worked on several different hobbies, including this YouTube channel right here as well. Now, I was hesitant to do this because I was like, this room isn't in a place where I really want it to be. But then I got to thinking, this is the best time to do it, because if I just keep waiting until it's where I really want it to be, I'm never gonna do this video. I don't know if you guys can relate, but I know a lot of times some of us just are not happy with the way things are. We just keep constantly improving it. Even in the last few months, I've just keep moving things around and changing things. So I figured now's a good time to just do it, show you guys what it looks like today, and you guys can see it evolve over time as I make more videos. This might be a little bit longer of a video because I want to get into the weeds of everything I have, including everything in the short boxes, everything on the bookshelves. But I want to give you guys an idea of the space that I'm working with here. This is just a spare bedroom in my house that doubles as my home office. This is just an average sized bedroom here. It's a little messy, a little cluttered, because it just kind of kept growing. Started off with just a desk and a laptop as I started working from home at the beginning of the pandemic. And now it has everything that I'm into, all my hobby stuff. A lot of stuff that I really wasn't into at the beginning of the pandemic, like comics, RC, Legos. And then I also brought in my game systems. So it just kind of has everything. And I've just not been able to keep up with it and really fix it up the way I want to yet. But that's something that I'm planning to do now. I have been making a lot of changes to it pretty much every week, just moving things around, trying to organize things. Got a couple bookshelves that I didn't have before. So all these were just really everywhere. First, have a couple comics here, and these are just top loaders being held on the walls by these guys here. I forgot what they're called, but they're made for comic books, and they're just clear plastic. And I have them held on here with just thumbtacks or push pins, whatever you guys want to call these things. You could use screws, but I didn't want to use that yet because I wasn't sure if this is where I want to put it. So those just slide in there, and those mounts also double as stands that you can put a comic on, so you can just do that. I think that's pretty cool. These are kind of expensive though. They were $30 for a pack of 5 on Amazon. And then I just went on there today and saw a different style that doesn't connect with each other. I think they're just kind of separate top and bottom for like $20 for a pack of 5. But this works for me. Like I said, I'm not sure if that's where I want it right now, but that's what that looks like. And then these just have posters up here that I wanted to put up as just background. But really, I have no interest in any. I don't think I've ever even seen any of these movies except for Fast X. So I'm going to take these down. I don't know if I'm just going to throw them away, or if you guys want them, let me know. They're like 11 by 17, I think. And then on my walls here, I have this poster. This is a 24 by 36 Savage Starlight. Let me know if you guys recognize that and where it's from. I kind of just printed this poster out myself at, I think, Walgreens, and got a frame for it. And then over here, I have this Back to the Future poster, also 24 by 36. And then this poster that my wife was using when she used to teach online, but she doesn't use it anymore. So I was like, yeah, let's put that up. It looks kind of cool. We'll just spruce up this space a little bit. And I might get more of these comic mounts, maybe put them below, or maybe on that wall somewhere. Over here, kind of have one of these 2x2 cube shelves. believe they're 13-inch shelves. Got this one from Target, not from IKEA, but it is the thicker one. There's like two different kinds. There's like an 11-inch one, which is, you know, just shorter, and I think they're a little bit thinner too. So these are pretty thick. Those are also 13 inches and they're pretty thick. But this is just kind of where I keep like this Lego thing that I'm just building. Got a bunch of Legos in here. So I only started getting back into Legos a few months ago, and then I just kind of got bored of it. So I got this couch here that I have this cover on it because my cats just pretty much ruined it. I put this blanket on here. I'm not going to lift it up because it's just real nasty under there. My cats ruined it. I may get like a futon at some point. And then here's my desk where I work. Just have my personal laptop, my work laptop, and a couple monitors. This one's a 2x4 cube shelf, 13 inches. Up here, I got this RC 4-wheel drive thing that I got for my birthday a couple of years ago. My wife got it for me. Been wanting one, and I just didn't want to pull the trigger, but she got it for me. It was awesome, and it's like an off-roading one. You got some of the Lego builds that I put together. It's Jurassic Park one here. Got this Supra here. This Batmobile. Got a couple figures that I got a couple cons. Like I think I got this Rick, this Marty. I think the Joker came with the Batmobile. Really just what I have here is I have the Turtles up at the top. Got my DC stuff here. And then my indie books here. So I don't have quite nearly as many trades and hardcovers as I do individual issues. I'm pretty close to 3,000 individual issues, which is crazy because I started off with like 200 to 300 when I first got back into collecting at the end of 2022. So these are the trades of Turtles and these are the hardcovers. Why do I have both? Because I'm just super indecisive, and when I first started getting them, I was getting the trade paperbacks. So the story is that this is the first comic that I got in 2022 that got me back into collecting. This is TMNT Volume 6, City Fall Part 1. I believe it's like issues 21 through 24 or something. So it's the start of the City Fall storyline. I got this from Austin Books and Comics. We were just visiting Austin and I was like, hey, there's a comic book store, let's check it out. Which is funny because there's a comic book store there was a comic book store a few blocks from where I live right now when I first moved in here. And I was always kind of nervous or anxious to go in. I never went in and now it closed, which is crazy. But had to go a couple hours down south on a kind of just vacation trip and ended up deciding to go to the comic book store and got back into comics. I got a couple more of these from a couple comic book stores. I was like, the hardcovers are a lot nicer. They have more. And for the number of issues you're getting, if you get them from like cheap graphic novels or in stock trades or something, it's a better value. But I already had a couple of these. So that's where I was like, well, let me just get one. Then I got a couple more. And then I found a couple of these that were harder to find. And I got them. So I think right now I'm not going to get any more trade paperbacks unless I get like number 1 and 2. And I might get it. But I started getting these. And one of the earlier comics that I got as well was The Last Ronin. And that was really good. So both of these books were just so good that they really kick-started all of this that you see here. But so those are my Turtles right now. I'm missing number 8 and 12 that I'm going to get next. I'm also missing 2 to 4, but they're not like a priority. I've already read up to 5, and the way I filled these in is just from the ones I have over here in my reading order. I have number 6 right over here because I'm currently reading it. So this number 1 here I got from my wife for Christmas last year, and she actually got this on Amazon and got so lucky that it was not banged up or anything. I decided to get, I think 5 and 6 on Amazon, and they got a couple really small dings on the corners. So don't get stuff from Amazon. But she did get me this, and I got this signed by Kevin Eastman at Planet Comic Con this year. He was really cool. Got a signature in this nice red, I don't know what that is. But yeah, that. And then when I was at McKay's in Nashville, I saw another number 1 for pretty cheap. I think more than half price or maybe half price. And I was like, that's a pretty good deal. I'm just going to grab it because it was in great shape. Let's take a look at the DC stuff that I have. Just kind of go through everything here. So I got the Batman Who Laughs, this, and this, Death of Superman. These I got from the DC Universe Infinite Ultra whatever membership. So this is the one I got when I signed up, and this is the one I got for this year for being a member. And I don't know if there's in really any order, but most of the Superman stuff is over here. The rest is over here. So I got this one, got this Batgirl. I think I got this from Ollie's. Batman Year One, Batman Earth 1 Volume 2. I think I got this one from Ollie's. Whatever Happened to the Cape Crusader, The Long Halloween, Dark Victory, The Dark Knight Returns. This one's a little bit older. I got this one from Generation X Comics here in DFW, and it's a little bit older of a print. I'm not sure how old, but it was a little bit worn out. And to be honest, I don't really want a newer print. I think that's cool. Got The Dark Knight Strikes Again. And I don't know, man, the art on this one is just really whack. Got Batman The Dark Knight Master Race. Got this one from Half Price Books for $14.99, so I thought that was a good deal. Batman Curse of the White Knight. This one's a standard size hardcover also. Batman Catwoman by Tom King. Blue Beetle, Jamie Reyes, Book 1. I think I got this one for free while I was at a LCS in Chicago. They just had a couple by the counter they were giving away. Haven't read it yet. Got Batman Bruce Wayne The Road Home. Got this Crisis on Infinite Earths trade paperback. Next two are kind of random. We got Detective Comics number 7 and number 9. I think I must have got these at Ollie's or on clearance at my LCS, because these weren't ones I was necessarily looking for or even wanting, but they were like super cheap. And I got Detective Comics 1027. Flash Rebirth, Jeff Johns. Flashpoint. Flashpoint Beyond. This is one of the earlier trade paperbacks I got as well. This one I think I got from a bookstore over Christmas, I think in 2022. Then you got Robin, Son of Batman. The The Silencer, Volume 1. This one I got from clearance at my LCS, Titan Comics. And then Watchmen. This one I think I got from Half Price Books. Alright, next up I got all the Superman stuff here and just a couple random things. I got All-Star Superman, Grant Morrison, Supergirl, Volume 4. This must have been a Half Price Books pickup as well. Action Comics 1000 Deluxe Edition. I don't really like these deluxe ones unless it's like, I guess, a collection of a bunch of stuff. Like, I don't like this deluxe paperback especially. Like, if it's deluxe, it needs to be hardcover at least. Then I also have World Without a Superman. Now this one is one from my childhood, I think. You can see it's just really kind of disgusting and messed up. But this is back when I didn't really think about comics being in trade paperback or collected form, but I just had it. I don't know, I don't even remember where I got it from. Same thing with this Return of Superman. I think this one I got a long time ago as well. It's pretty beat up. See, it's like yellowing on those pages. Next up we have Superman, Last Son of Krypton. Johns, Donner, Kubert, and Frank. I got this one pretty recently. And I read this one. I really like this one. Superman 0 Hour. I haven't read this one in trade paperback yet, but I have several of these issues from when I was a kid, from 0 Hour. We got Superman City of Tomorrow, Volume 2. Now I need to kind of look into this a little bit more, but I think this is collecting a bunch of issues that I don't remember seeing in like a bigger format, like an Omni or Compendium or anything. And I've been getting a lot of these issues in floppy format as well. So, but this wasn't too much. I think it was like $15. So I picked it up from Half Price Books. And then I have these paperbacks of Superman, Batman. And I think this is a discontinued version of these. And I believe I read somewhere that it only went up to 6. And they don't finish the run in this format, and they started a different trade paperback format that I think that was thinner with less issues. And then of course they have the Omnis, but I got a couple more. Like I got this number 6 from Half Price Books, and I think I had like 1 or 3, and then I ended up getting the other ones because I was like, yeah, might as well get them all. So the only one I'm missing now is number 2 on this. I just got a couple random books here. This one, Coraline, it's Neil Gaiman. My wife got this one. I forgot where we got it from, but I think she read this before and she just wanted this one. She's read a bunch of Neil Gaiman stuff, so think she really likes his writing. And this one, my wife got too. I'm not really sure what this one is. Got this You Can Draw in 30 Days book. Just really been interested in drawing lately. And then, again, things are just random, so I have this empty comic book store folio thing. I got 2 of these, and these are great for like traveling, or if you go to the comic book store and you just want to put the comics somewhere safe while you drive home, so they don't bounce around in the car or whatever. It's really cool. If you're going to a convention, put some books in here that you want to get signed. Alright, so over here we got just a bunch of random stuff, so I'm not sure if you guys want to see everything, but basically here we have another one of those store folios, but I have all my Back to the Futures in here. Let's take a look at everything. And I just was kind of running out of space, so I started putting comics on the bookshelf. Really is what this space is for. But I got number 5, number 7, number 11, number 12, number 13. This was on sale. I remember what comic book store these are from. Number 14. Then number 4. These are out of order. This is number 2, subscription cover. Number 14. Number 23. Number 24. Number 3, number 7, and then another number 2. Alright, next to that we got a couple of these top loaders here. Just bought a pack, and these are the Silver Age size. And the reason I got Silver Age size is because I thought they might fit my Turtles oversized issues. And the reason I thought that was because even though they're Silver Age size, I thought sometimes that these are a little bit bigger than the comic they fit. But they don't fit those Turtles ones, and they just look a little big on modern sized issues. So, I don't know. These are... If I was going to get them again, I'd probably just get the modern size ones. But I just put a bunch of random comics in here that I really don't know really warrants a top loader. I got the Batman and Robin Lives, Death in the Family, alternate ending. Got a couple of these Batman Year One issues. These are like the facsimiles, not the originals. And then, I don't know, I just put this deep cuts in here. Got a couple random things in here. So I got several of these Unnatural Order number 1s that were free. And then How I Became a Shoplifter. I read the first issue of this and it was just kind of nostalgic vibes with just like 90s kind of vibes, and the story was kind of cool. Seemed like it was going to be like a coming of age style type of story, and I think I got number 1 and then had a hard time finding number 2. Then I found it at McKay's. Got a bunch of them. So 1, 2, got a couple 3s. So it's just a 3-issue miniseries from Sumerian. My wife's sister gave me these Elric comics for free. I don't know really what Elric is. If you guys want to take a look, it's made by First Comics. Yeah, these are pretty old. 1983. There's some more random stuff here. So got a couple issues here from Austin St. John. I think he was at this comic book convention in Oklahoma, Texoma Comic Con. So I got a couple of these issues from him. And the art's like wildly different from one to the other, so I didn't know what was going on. I haven't read them yet, but I've been meaning to read this and do a review on these. And I met him, he was a pretty cool guy. Then I have here just a bunch of Last Ronin stuff. And I don't know, I really probably shouldn't be double dipping on these Last Ronin issues. But I got Last Ronin. Yeah, definitely double dipped on a couple of these. I just got this anniversary Death of Superman comic that is kind of worn out already. I just got this couple, I think a year or so ago. And it's got the Re-Evolution, cover A and cover B of #1. Then it's got some random issues of Wolverine here. I really just shoved these in here because I didn't know where else to put them right now. Just kind of, again, had to do something with some of my space here. So, got Wolverine 43 to 46. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, #12. And Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, #3. These are my wife's. So she's got a small, like, short box by the bed that she has her comics, but it's full already, so I don't know where I'm going to put these. And then I got this Planet Comic Con pamphlet from this year. So over here's Indie and a couple books on creating comics. Then I got Back to the Future Volume 2, The Continuum Conundrum. Got Black Orchid. Cosmic Detective, Jeff Lemire. Firepower, Volume 1 Prelude. This one, I don't know what this one is about, but it was on clearance. It was like $2 or $4 from something from my LCS. But I looked it up while I was there, and I was like, yeah, it looked interesting, so I might as well get it since it's on clearance. Then we got all the House of Slaughters here. These are my wife's. And this one I think just came in pretty recently. This one just looked pretty cool. I don't really know what it's about. You'll find the theme here. I haven't read a lot of this stuff. There's been some that I've read, but a lot of them I haven't. I've read a lot of my floppies more so than my trade paperbacks, which is kind of crazy that I'm doing it that way. But yeah, it just looked interesting, and I have yet to read it, but I need to read this one. It looked really good. Paper Girls. It's the first one. Then I got Planet of the Apes. This one they call it an omnibus. So technically I do have omnibuses, but these are pretty small. I know that a lot of the DC omnibuses are like the thickness of both of these. But here's Before the Fall. This is Boom. And this is based on the original series of movies. And I love Planet of the Apes. So that's why I got these. And I read the newest, not the newest one, but the one from like 2022, 2023 from Marvel, based on the Caesar trilogy. And that one was pretty good. And then I'm getting the ones that are coming out right now. I think it's Beware the Planet of the Apes. Also from Marvel, based in the original universe, and that one was pretty good so far. Then I got this one from Boom. This one's based on the Caesar trilogy. Red Border. It's AWA one. This one I think just came out, and I've been seeing these issues come out in floppy, and I've been resisting buying them because I'm a bit conflicted because I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. But I saw the trade paperback and I was like, oh, this is a format I can get behind. And I got this from my LCS. Got this Rick and Morty. I think this one is from Half Price Books. Ronin Island. It's by Greg Pak. Then we got all the Something is Killing the Children #1. This one's actually, I think, signed. Yeah, this one's signed. Yeah, it's signed in here too. So we brought this one to Fan Expo Dallas 2023, I believe, and got this signed by James Tynion and Werther Deladera. I think that's Werther there, and it's Tynion in there. So that was really cool. They were pretty nice when we spoke to them. And we got Volume 2. I heard that the hardcovers were kind of weird order, so I think it's not bad that we're getting them in trade paperback, and they feel pretty cool too, like the quality of the paper on the covers. So my wife's reading these series. Then I got Southern Bastards by Jason Aaron. This one I believe is signed. Yep. Jason Aaron, I met him at Planet Comic Con. Then you got Stardust. This is my wife's. She read this one, I think, in the individual issue format, which I got for her, and she really likes this. Again, Neil Gaiman. Stray Dogs. Undiscovered Country. Walking Dead Volume 1. The only reason I got this was because it was half price. But I'm not collecting The Walking Dead in trade because these are the black and white ones. I'm getting the color floppies right now, and I'm really enjoying it. This one's from a local creator. It's Pocket Jack Comics, and I met the guy that wrote this, forgot his name, but I met him at, I think, Fan Festival, Preston Poulter. So I think I met him at Fan Festival, and yeah, this one, I think I'm not sure if he signed this one. Yeah. Next up, we got this Year Zero. I believe it starts with 1, and then 0 is like a prequel. Pretty sure. So this is the first one that I read, Year Zero, Volume 1. And I like this one because it kind of goes into like these different places. Doesn't really focus on just one place or one character. It kind of keeps jumping between different places. So it's just showing like different perspectives of this outbreak that's about to happen or happening. And I thought it was just really cool, just different take. And this one's by Benjamin Percy. I don't remember if I read the second volume yet, but there it is. And then I think the latest one is Volume 0. It's kind of like a prequel. This one's still in the wrapping, so I know I haven't read that one yet. So those are all my indie books here. Not really much here, just have some backing boards, pre-done bags and boards. And then I got a couple of these Den of Geeks magazines. I think I got these for free. I think one of them was from a convention, and I forget when I got the other ones, but just got a bunch of those. Also have one of my original Wizard magazines. So the first convention that I went to was Wizard World 99 in Chicago. That was my first convention, and it was also the most recent convention until about 2023 when I went to some here in Dallas. So big hiatus, but yeah. And I think I'll show you guys some of those issues, but I met Todd McFarlane there and a couple other people. That was really cool. Yeah, Resident Evil Survival Guide. One of my favorite games of all time. Just a couple drawing items. Got this Rogue State #1. I didn't really enjoy this. I thought it'd be pretty cool, but it was just, I don't know, it wasn't. I felt like it was just not interesting. And I think I forgot to mention the figures that I have here. This isn't all the figures that I have in the house, just have a couple more, but I got some original Turtles figures from when I was a kid. And then here's, I think this is I forgot what year this is from, probably 03. And this is from, I think, the 07 animated movie. And I got a couple of the figures back here for the 07 movie. Got the Donnie, got Leo here, and Raph. And I had Mikey, but I gave it to my friend's son for Christmas. And then I just got this Superman figure that I got from Keith's Comics here in Dallas for like a big discount when they were having a clearance sale last year. So let's switch gears over to this bookshelf over here. Alright guys, it's actually several days later now. I am re-recording this section because I started showing you guys all the individual issues and it was taking way too long. I have boxes here and I have stuff in the bookshelf, and just the bookshelf alone was taking like 2 extra hours, and I don't want to make this video any longer than it already is. So I won't show you every single issue, but I will flip through and give you guys an idea of what's in each of them. If you do want to see every single issue and me flip through every single one and pull it out, let me know. I'll just do a video like that without really any talking and show you everything, but I think you'll have a pretty good idea of what I have in here. First of all, I want to show you guys just the bookshelf itself. This I got last year. It was used off of like either Facebook or Nextdoor. It's cool because it's a filing cabinet. Legal files are like about the same size or height as comic books, so this worked out perfectly. And there was like usually a bar here that holds the files. They're not spaced properly, so I took them off. There's indentations in here, which I was planning to maybe move these and like, you know, drill in some notches in here to put bars to help separate this, but not really high priority right now. So first of all, up here we just got some books. The only ones I'll really touch on are just the hardcover novels here. Big fan of the Expanse TV series, so that's why I started getting these. My wife got me this box set here with the first 3 books. Also started reading Under the Dome by Stephen King, and got a couple YA novels that I believe are just like kind of superhero-ish, so that's why I got them, and they looked really good, so I'm going to try those out. Also got a couple things here, such as some camcorders. Got my original camcorder here from back in the day. Also got this HDV camcorder from Sony recently. Just kind of like the old school stuff and messing around with old school cameras. Got my game systems here. But let's go ahead and start flipping through some of the comics. All this stuff in the bookshelf is my Superman stuff, and then I have all my other stuff in these boxes here. So right on top we have just a couple random stacks. This is from some mystery boxes I got before, and I just don't really feel like they deserve a bag and board yet, so I really don't know where to put them at the moment. Just kind of short on boxes. Then I got just some random stuff here that I don't know what to do with, and basically these issues, Batman Superman, I'm reading these right now, so I'm almost done with this run of Batman Superman, and then it goes into World's Finest after that. So they're organized by title, and up here start off with Action Comics, and then it goes into Superman Volume 1, which goes into Adventures of Superman, which I think the switchover was around like issue 424 if I'm not mistaken. Here's all my Action Comics. I am pretty light on the really old stuff. Oldest one I have is number 445. Got a couple of these pretty recently. 537, 589, 666, which isn't that old. I do have several issues from like the 90s, so I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but some of these bags and boards are a little bit older. Like for example, this is one of the comics I got in the 90s, Reign of the Superman. Really when I started collecting, and a lot of the comics that I have from my childhood are Superman comics. Also have a mix of some Spawn, a few Marvel only, and then just random Image comics from back in the day, like Fathom, Witchblade, and those sorts of things. So I have a bunch of Action Comics, and I've been filling in all the Superman titles. So when I first started, I was like just trying to fill in from Rebirth on. So I have everything from Rebirth. Where does it start? Starts at 957. So there's that one. I have everything Superman for the main titles from Rebirth to current. That's what I've read for Superman as well, starting from Rebirth when I got back into comics. Batman, I didn't go back that far. I just went back to like the current run, maybe issue like 115, 120 or so. After I filled in all the Rebirth Superman, I've been getting some older ones, and I'm not really in a rush anymore to start getting them. Just if it's a good deal, if it's a good price, if it's like $1 for an issue or even $2, I might get it if it's in good condition. Superman's one of those titles where I do not mind going back and filling in, and that's kind of the reason why I don't have a lot of Marvel, because Marvel is just as jam-packed with tons and tons of issues. Like, I don't want to start collecting another character like I am with Superman. And I wasn't going to do Batman either, but I've been noticing that I've been picking up some older Batman as well, and just kind of filling in the main titles. So this is all the Action Comics. So we get into like Dawn of DC here, which I have all the Dawn of DC ones. And before this goes into Superman Volume 1 over here, I have a lot of like the Superman related characters like Steel, got Super Sons, also have Superboy, this one's a comic from back in the day, Superboy. And I love these older boards that I have because they have like stamps from some of the comic book stores I used to go to back in the day. This place called the Comic Book Zone in Chicago. So I know that I got this from there. It's got some Supergirl here. Got several different volumes of Supergirl. And I also started getting Supergirl from Rebirth as well, but I'm not in too much of a rush to get those. It has to be a really good price. So, and then over here, then it gets into Superman Volume 1, which the oldest one I have of that is, I think, actually that's not the oldest. It's probably this issue here, 330. Which I'm not sure what era this is. I'll put it up on the screen, but I'm not sure what year this is from. Then I got 331. Got these for pretty cheap. I think they were like only a couple bucks, either from McKay's or Half Price Books. I got 393 here. 371 is kind of out of place. And then over here, I believe, is where it starts to go into Adventures. So here's Adventures of Superman 424. And I think the one before that I have is 418. Let's shove that in here. Yeah, so that's all Adventures of Superman. And I want to show you guys this. I have 7 copies of Adventures of Superman 500. So I got 3 of these white bagged ones, and I don't know if all 3 of these were from my childhood, but I know that at least 2 of these are the ones with this Jerry Ordway signature, and it has like the numbering of 10,000, and I don't know where the certificate for this one is, but it's somewhere. And then, yeah, they are kind of in bad shape though, because this white, I'm not sure if you guys can see it on the camera, but it kind of starts yellowing and getting scratches and dirt on it. Like, they're not the best quality bags for this sort of thing. And then I got a bunch of these. Like, for these types of issues, don't even pay more than like $1 or $2. They're not worth it. Like, I probably got these for 50 cents. Yeah, I got all this Adventures of Superman here. So some of these, Worlds at War, I think there's a trade paperback of that. But I don't know if everything on Superman is collected. I'm not sure. Here's where it gets into Infinite Crisis. around 649. This is the Last Adventures of Superman. And then here's Superman again at 650. So I thought that was interesting that they did that. I wasn't reading comics regularly at that time, so I didn't know like why that was. And I think I have the last one. I think this is the last one, 714. This was 2011, so this is right before New 52. Yeah, that's all my Action Comics and Adventures of Superman. Down here, kind of start off with Superman Volume 2, but I have like the Man of Steel, a couple of these issues. And these are really good issues. But I do have number 1 of Superman Volume 2. And I think I have, like as far as percentage wise, I probably have the most of Superman Volume 2, like the highest percentage of completion on those. So like here, I got number 2, another number 2, number 3, number 5, number 6, number 8, number 12. So I got a bunch of these. And I want to show you guys this. I've got several of these Death of Superman issues, but I think a couple of these I got pretty recently, and I want to say this one is first printing, which I think I got for pretty cheap, because yeah, there's nothing on here that has a number. Like on these other ones, you see the 2 right there, the second printing, third printing, and this one doesn't have that. So I think this is the first printing. But this is my original one that I got from when I was a kid, and you can see it's all beat up. Fourth printing. That's because I've read this thing a million times. I just love like the full page art on all this, and I like Dan Jurgens' art. It's just one of my favorite comics growing up. So definitely something that I wouldn't get rid of just because, you know, it's like one of my originals. And why I liked Superman Volume 2 so much is just there's so many good issues, and again, the art I like, but this is my favorite cover out of those like 4 covers that had this cutout. I have another copy of that, just this one here. And then I want to show you guys my other favorite comic on this run here was this one, number 80. Just one of my favorite covers. And again, you can see this one's pretty beat up and worn out. I put it in a new bag and board, but like the comic itself is pretty worn out. I'm not sure if you guys can see the tape on here. Tried to save it. Got another copy pretty recently that I found. I was like, yeah, let me get a copy of that. But just my favorite art on the cover because it just seems so dramatic, and like the whole premise of the whole city getting blown up, and the Eradicator Superman, I think he was like going down into, I forgot, he's like in the tundra area, and I don't know, it's just a really, really cool scene and settings and just storyline here that I really enjoyed. The Superman wedding. One of my favorite covers as well. It's just really cool. And it was just a change of pace. Like I like this. Like back then, I don't know if it was. I don't really know if it was popular or not. I liked it, but looking back now, it's like a good nostalgic piece of Superman history to me. Having like that suit and that whole look. I remember these covers all connected. That was pretty cool. And then this one I Didn't know about this one back in the day, but I just got this one recently. Kind of a callback to that other one. But yeah, the most I have is probably Superman Volume 2. Another classic cover, Superman 204. The one I had in my wall was like a gold foil version of this for the new volume of Superman, which I thought was really cool. But I think I have 2 copies of that, so. And with this, I only have a couple issues of New 52, and I haven't just really had any desire to read New 52. I did read like the Convergence a little bit, and also the Lois and Clark storyline where they were bringing back, like, I guess the OG Superman into the universe, and I really enjoyed that a lot. But I just haven't really wanted to read New 52, and these issues are just so cheap. Like, I wouldn't even pay full price for this, like $1, $2 at the most to get all of them whenever that happens. And then here I have on Superman Volume 4, got this one here signed by Pat Gleason. I want to say it was either Fan Festival or if it was Planet Comic Con, I forget. But I met Pat Gleason, and what's really cool is that, like, Tomasi and Gleason, they write this great father-son storyline in Superman and Super Sons. And when I was there and I met Pat Gleason, he was there with his son at the comic convention. That was pretty cool, I think. Just like having him be part of that world. But yeah, big waste on what they did with John Kent. And I think I have another issue signed as well. I want to see this one. Yeah, this one I had signed by Pat Gleason. I'll have to keep a lookout on conventions to see if Tomasi shows up at any of them so I can get that signed as well. Then we have the Man of Steel from Bendis. This is where I heard all this stuff about it, and I was like starting to see, when I was reading these issues leading up to it, started seeing these ads like Bendis is coming, and oh my gosh, when I was like, you know, he can't be that bad. But when I started reading it, it was really bad. It was a chore. I just kind of tried to get through it as fast as possible. And because of that, I didn't really fully grasp the storyline he was trying to tell with, you know, all these higher powers and stuff. And I don't know, I just didn't really enjoy it at all. There's his run there, and I think after his run ended, that's where I'm at right now with Superman. I still have a lot to catch up with to get to, like, Dawn of DC, but made a lot of progress on that. I've read a lot of issues. I got all the Superman Son of Kal-El issues when he's older, and once again, just a huge missed opportunity in my opinion, because you already have sort of a teenage / younger 20s Superman or Superboy, which is Connor, which I think that's, like, keeping Damian at a younger age is the right move, because you have a little bit older Tim Drake, you have a little bit older than that Dick Grayson. You don't need to age up Damian Wayne to be the same age as one of those guys. Whereas with John Kent, you aged him up, and you just lost those opportunities to grow up with Damian. Now he's the same age as Connor, and it's not needed. And here's the Dawn of DC #1. Got a couple of copies of this. Also got Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow, speaking of Connor, coming back. That was a good miniseries. Then I got Adventures of Superman John Kent. He had a miniseries. And then over here we have Superman Man of Steel. So going back to the 90s again, I have the first one of this. So this is where they had the three titles, Action Comics, Adventures of Superman, and Superman. The Man of Steel rounded it out, so they had a new Superman book on sale every week. And I'm not sure if the triangle era started at that same time or if it was already in place, but number 2 has a triangle on it. So I got a bunch of those issues. And I really like this cover from Mixie 75. And then we also had this quarterly Superman the Man of Tomorrow, which I thought that was a cool name for a Superman title. So this was to fill out because if you have the other issues, that's 48 issues out of 52 weeks, and this one makes sure that there's no gaps on that, which was crazy. And I got some more Superboy. There's a bunch of stuff out of place here. Got a couple Superman Batmans. I'm not really collecting these in individual, just kind of picked up some at random. Then I got Superman and the Authority. Got several copies of some of these because they were real cheap. Here's some more copies of that. And then Superman Lost. This was one where I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep getting this, but I ended up getting every single one. Like, I felt like for miniseries I need to just start waiting for the trades or the hardcovers because like they're not part of this continuous run from like 1938. It's not like anything special. I got that. Got just a bunch of random one-shots. I also got a couple Superwoman issues here as well. So here's all the boxes that I have. And it's not that many, but it is about 3,000 issues between that and what's in the bookshelf. They can't all fit on the table at once, so I'll just go over what's in the 2 long boxes and then I'll move those out of the way, and then the rest should be able to fit up here. So these 2 boxes are mainly like my indie books. A lot of it is Image, but I also have like Boom and Ani and stuff like that. Let's just take a look at all the stuff we have. Got like 20th Century Man. I only have a couple of those. Started getting this All Against All, which seemed pretty cool. I read a couple issues, but I wasn't too into it. But it is a pretty cool premise. Also got these Ambassadors comic. Haven't read this one yet, but I heard it was good. There's my Animal Pound 1 and 2. Thought this was cool. I got this pretty recently, this Bartman number 1. Bartman number 2. Some older comics here. Got these Top Cow issues of Blood Legacy. I don't even remember if I read this, but these are some old school comics I had from back in the day. Got this from a mystery box. Bendis. I have no idea what this one was, but you can guess why I probably picked this up. This is one from back in the day. I have most of the Energon Universe stuff, so here's Cobra Commander. Got a couple of these curse word ones. I like this because it had the same writers from 8 Billion Genies, but I started reading it and I wasn't too overly into it, but I'm going to give it another shot. Got The Deviant by James Tynion. This one I only have one issue of. Got this from, I think, either McKay's or Half Price Books. It's Duo Powerbomb #1. I heard this was a big hit, and it's Daniel Warren Johnson, so figured I'd give this a shot since he's doing the Energon stuff. And I wasn't really paying attention to this when it first came out, so I'm going to give that a shot. There's Duke. Here's Earth Divers. I really love this series. But it's one that I only got, I think, until around issue 10 probably, is what I've read. And I think it got discontinued at issue 16. And after that I have 8 Billion Genies. So I did read all of this. And this one I got on too late, so I don't have the first printing of the first couple issues. I have a third printing of issue 2. Got this special LCSD edition for issue 1, second printing, and then I got first printing of 4. So, but this one was really good. I just love the premise. I love all the different characters and how it makes you think about how people use their wishes and stuff like that, and how the wishes became like commodity. I'm not sure if that's the right word, a commodity, or I guess just a currency, you know, trading wishes. After I saw that Spawn was a big hit, I started like getting other #1 issues from Image and Top Cow, because I was like, you know, just I was only a kid, but part of that, like the 90s, was just trying to become part of that boom and finding the next big thing. So I ended up getting like Fathom, Witchblade, and some other lesser known titles. Here's Firepower. I got most of these now, and the reason I started getting these was because I found them for real cheap at McKay's. I think they were like less than $1 each. So I was like, let me get a whole bunch of these, and now I think I have all but like 1 or 2 issues of Firepower. Got a bunch of the original Geigers. The Ghost Machine. This one's signed. I think that's Manipul. I met him at Planet Comic Con. I'm kicking myself now because I wanted to bring one of these for him to sign, and I figured cover A would be the safe choice. But I didn't realize that he did this cover. And I had this one also, so I didn't bring it with me. But that's okay. You know, if I see him again, or if I see he's in a con again, I'll bring this one. Some of those #1 issues from Image, like Hellhole, got a early Helicop. Got some Holy Rollers, these were pretty good. Huck, here's one I haven't read yet, but I found for real cheap at McKay's, so I figured I'd grab the first couple issues of this. This is Junkyard Joe. King Spawn. Local Man. This one, I've read these first couple issues and they were pretty good, but I just didn't really get into it. Got Man's Best. And here's one of the original comics I got from when I was a kid. I used to watch Married with Children. I don't know if you guys were into that show, but I really liked it. It was just always so silly, and these issues were pretty silly comics as well. It's kind of the same jokes and stuff. And one of my favorite series so far this year is Petrolhead. Really enjoying this. Just love the world building, love the art. There's a couple more of those Ghost Machine stuff. And then I've been collecting Rick and Morty. I don't know why. I haven't read any of these issues yet, but I really love this show. And I saw that they had a new #1, I think it was last year. So I've been getting Rick and Morty. Yeah, these are all Rick and Morty. I got the Ronin book 2. So here's all my Spawn comics here. Don't have too many of them, but this is one of those titles I started collecting, I think, around issue 60. So this is my, I think, original Spawn issue, which is 64. And I really enjoyed Spawn as a kid. I've heard since then that the writing is pretty bad from McFarlane. But back then I really wasn't thinking about that. I was just looking at the art and thinking how cool it was and how he had this character that was completely different from the characters that I was reading, like at the time, just DC characters. So that was really cool. And I think I do have, I'm not sure if I have 100. No, I don't have 100. I think I have like 99 and 101. But I do have Spawn #1. This is one of the comics I brought to Wizard World Comic Con '99. Got it signed by a Mr. L. Simmons. So I think at the time, not sure if he was at the same table as McFarlane, but he was saying like how he's the real life character of L. Simmons or whatever. McFarlane was there too, and I sat in one of his panels and asked a really dumb question. Got laughed at, but I don't remember why I didn't get his signature. I don't know if the line was too long or too expensive, I forget. I got a couple earlier Spawn issues too that I picked up in the back issue bins. So here's all the Transformers issues here. The Void Rivals. I'm really enjoying the Void Rivals a little bit more than Transformers. I think it's pretty good. And then all this is Walking Dead Deluxe. I have all the issues, couple printings of some of the issues, but I'm really enjoying this. Didn't read the original series, and the fact that they're reprinting it in color is just amazing because I kind of have a hard time trying to read it in black and white. Just don't really get into it with the art style. And then over here, got a couple of my Witchblade issues here. Witchblade 25. You got some World Tree. This one was signed by James Tynion. And I think, I want to say this one is Blanco on the right. I think he was there too. I think that was Fan Expo last year. And then back here just have a couple of random issues of stuff I just didn't know where to put. Like I got a couple of Superman issues in here. So, alright, so here's the rest of my boxes. These are all short boxes now. Got 8 short boxes of DC stuff, 1 short box of Turtles over here, and then that box back there has like random free issues and Marvel. So you guys can see I need to like find a better way to, you know, have these organized in here, find like another shelf or something to put all this stuff on. But all this stuff just kind of starts off with Batman stuff. It's really packed in here, so I'm just going to pull some issues out. I got just some DC stuff, alphabetical. So these are all like Batgirl. Nothing too special here. So got Batgirls. And then I have Batman Volume 1. And like I was saying earlier, wasn't really planning to collect Batman Volume 1 initially. But I've been getting a couple of the back issues now. So I have like the facsimile, another facsimile, and then the oldest one I have is 272. I think this was only a couple bucks. These I think all I got pretty recently. And this one I think is a facsimile. That's a really cool cover. I got some of these Many Deaths of Batman, Batman Year 3, A Lonely Place of Dying. This one was one of my original Batman issues from when I was a kid, 485. That one was pretty cool. So is this one. So it's pretty beat up on the sides. And I never read the full like Nightfall storyline back then. Still haven't read the whole thing yet. But just had a couple issues from around that time period. That's 500. I got this one pretty recently. I guess they did this, I'm not sure if it was a reaction to or just naturally around that time they were trying to make big things happen, and they tried to hype this one up like Adventures of Superman 500. But yeah, it was a pretty big event. He didn't necessarily die, but you know, of course he got injured, and you had what's his name? I think John Paul Valley replacing him for a while. So this is all Volume 1. And I've been getting a couple of these for real cheap, these Batman and Robins, but I think I'm going to get like the Grant Morrison Omnibus or whatever omnibuses they come in. I don't know what they all are, but I'm planning to get some of the like really good, really essential omnibuses pretty soon. And then here's all Rebirth stuff. And I'm not really collecting this too hard, but I have a bunch of them, like the wedding. And then back here, this is all again Volume 3, and it goes into Dawn of DC over here. So like I said, I've been caught up to like around issue 120 of Volume 3. So got Batman and Robin. Batman Beyond. The next row of boxes, just got more Batman, the Brave and the Bold. This one is pretty good. I like the different storylines. It's kind of a mixed bag of different things. And this one I haven't been getting from my LCS, I've just been getting it from DCBS. Since it's like a $7 or $8 issue, makes it a lot cheaper. There's just some more random Batman stuff, miniseries and discontinued series. Got the Batman Spawn. And here's Batman Superman, which I'm currently reading and trying to finish up so I can get onto The World's Finest. And I do have this signature here of like Mark Waid. Met him as well, I think at Planet Comic Con. Also had issue 20, signed by Waid as well. Here's that book 1 of Black Orchid. So just random DC stuff, like I got Blue Beetle, Bloodlines. Some random Catwoman. That Omni with Catwoman, I think it's by Brubaker. That one's also on my Omni list. Not like real high up, maybe like down the road. And I do have every single issue of the latest Catwoman run. And I've read every single issue up until like a couple issues ago. So that one I'm really enjoying more than the Batman issues because I feel like the whole world is a little bit smaller, more contained. And it's like just like her character and all the side characters that are in it. Got some City Boy, Dark Crisis, which I fell into that trap because that was coming out when I first started getting into comics, and that was a mistake. Now I'm not really doing any of the DC events. Oh, here's a DC 1 million from back in the day. Then you got Detective Comics here. Now this is one where I think, I don't know, I started collecting these too, but now I'm starting to rethink that. But let's go through it. I got just a couple issues. Like this one is one of my original comics from back in the day. Really enjoy this one. It's kind of like that, just the cover especially. So it's one of these where I was deciding, you know, if I'm going to start picking up Detective Comics, it's one of those that have like just tons of issues. I just started at like Ram V's run. So it's actually on my DCBS list right now. So I have the latest issue. I think 1084, maybe 1085 might be the latest one. That's an Eradicator. The Flash. I have a couple Flash issues from when I was younger, like this one here. But I was never a huge Flash fan until recently, when I started watching the show. And I really like his character now. And I have been collecting Flash since about Dark Crisis, from that tie-in. And I enjoyed the 1 Minute War and just like the whole family dynamic with all the different characters. Of course, that was Jeremy Adams, and he got off of the Flash on the reboot. I think he's doing Green Lantern now. I don't know why this Green Arrow was in here, but this one I had signed. Not sure who that signature is now, I forgot, but in the wrong spot. I was trying to find a Flash issue because I think I had Flash issue signed. Oh yeah, it was this one right here. 779. Got this signed by Jeremy Adams. I think it was at Fan Festival Dallas last year. So I think I remember who signed this now because I got the Green Arrow here after the Flash, and it's Joshua Williamson. So I remember now that he was at Fan Expo, and I met him, got this one signed. Yeah, really enjoying this Green Arrow storyline as well. And then over here we got a bunch of Green Lantern. I got a bunch of these The Green Lantern or Beware My Power, The Green Lantern. Got these real cheap at half price books on clearance. I got Alan Scott series. And I have Jeremy Adams. So this one's signed by Jeremy Adams. Really enjoying this one as well. Green Lantern was one of those characters I really liked growing up, but I didn't really fully understand him. And I've been consuming more Green Lantern. Like I watched the animated series recently. I've been reading his run recently, and just really enjoying the Green Lantern universe. Like the animated series was so good, and like just the world building and like what was that guy's that guy that was with him, and there was like a love story. It was so good. I think I have number 4 signed as well. I know I was saying earlier I wasn't getting the events, but I got a couple of these Night Terror ones, and I got a couple of these Lazarus Planet ones, but not everything. Now the latest volume of Nightwing, I've been collecting that. I have a whole bunch. I have, I think, everything from like 90 something, and then I've just been slowly getting a couple of the older ones, but not really in a rush to get them. There's issue, is that 100? Got all the Robins from this run. So here's another one where I was so bummed I didn't bring Shazam #1 with me to get Mark Waid's signature. I think I either completely forgot or just didn't think about it. But I ended up buying this issue at his table and just had him sign this. But I wish I had brought this one because I really like this cover. And that's about it. Just have some random, just some DC, just kind of random titles around. I've been getting the new volume of Wonder Woman. This last short box here is all Turtles. So here are the actual oldest issues that I have. They're pretty good shape, and I'm not even sure if they're like first printings or anything. I'm almost 100% sure they're not, but these are just some of those original series. And then the Image run, I wasn't collecting turtles at the time, so I just got these pretty recently. The original Image ones, and then the reprints by IDW. Been getting those. And this is one of those things where I've just been double dipping here, but I have a lot of the issues like post 100. But I've been getting the hardcovers like you saw earlier, so I don't know. Probably don't need to be getting them, but I feel like Turtles issues hold their value. This one I had signed by Kevin Eastman. And towards the end of this, I even started double dipping within the individual issues, getting both A and B. I don't know. Might have to sell off some of these. With all the Armageddon game stuff. Been starting to get the Saturday Morning Adventures. I love this cover. These are the reprints of The Last Ronin. Alright, last box. We have this random box of, I don't know what, but mostly Marvel stuff. So I've been collecting like the Wolverine issues. It's got a couple random X-Men things. Also got stuff that's not Marvel in here, just kind of random, like the Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is one from back in the day that I had. Undertaker. I was huge into WWF back then. Here's where the Planet of the Apes issues are. Really enjoyed this series. I read all 5 of these on the miniseries. And I got a bunch of these freebie newspapers. Got a bunch of these freebie comics from DC Connect that I'm not putting in bags and boards, kind of worthless. And here's like all my, this is pretty much X-Men right here and Marvel stuff. And here's a couple more Marvel stuff there, but I got like Cable, this Deadpool, just random stuff. Not cutting it too hard. This one I got for like 25 cents at McKay's. The Sabretooth, same thing with this one. Death's Head. And then this one was real cheap. It's #1. I think this is of the latest run. And it was only like $2 or $3, I think, or a couple bucks. That was a great deal. But yeah, Wolverine. I like Wolverine as a character, so I've been collecting that, and I'm up to like 40 something. Also got the X-23 Deadly Regenesis titles as well. But yeah, I need to set up a box just for Marvel stuff. Haven't wanted to mix stuff too much. That's why I have them kind of in a separate box. I like to keep track of all my comics, and I use Microsoft Excel to just have them all in one spreadsheet. And I know it's very manual and very tedious. I know there's other apps out there that are designed for keeping track of your comic books, but I feel like doing it in a spreadsheet just helps me have more control over all the information I put in there, including not just how much the comic cost, but how much I paid for it, whether I read it or not, and be able to just sort and filter and search through to look for that comic. I also put in there like what comic book store I bought it from. I don't know if that's really necessary, but I feel like it's helped me kind of just learn more about the comic book stores around my area and remember comic book stores that I want to go to know like what they have and what I've bought there before. And if you guys are interested in a full-on like issue by issue pulling out and showing you like no talking, let me know. I'll do that video. I just didn't want to make this whole thing like 4 or 5 hours long. I'm really afraid of how long it's going to be, but I'll be willing to do that if you're interested in it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and if you guys made it to the end, big thumbs up to you. In fact, why don't you guys give a big thumbs up to this video down at the bottom. And if you guys are interested in more comic book content like hauls, reviews, comic book store walkthroughs, anything comic book related, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.